Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is Jane by Design. You're welcome to today's video. So today I'll be showing us how to make a waistband and how to attach a waistband to your shorts. Thank you guys so much for all your like and your support. I deeply appreciate you. I love you guys so much for liking my videos, for supporting me, and for sharing my content. I couldn't ask for more. Thank you so very much. If you're new here, please subscribe, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. If you're returning as well, thank you so much for coming back. So like I said, on today's video I'll be showing you how to make a waistband, and I have the fabric. I have here my short already made just to attach the waistband, and I also have my pattern paper to draft the waistband first before transferring it to the fabric. So first you need to do is to measure around your waist on your short or your skirt, whatever you're working with. You need to measure around it, get the circumference of your waist and divide that by 2. So for this tutorial my waist is 30 inches, and 30 divided by 2, I have 15. Now the reason why I'm dividing it by 2 is because my paper is folded into 2. Okay, my paper is folded into 2, and I'm going to be placing half of that value on my paper. So I'm going to be placing my tape at the folded edge, and then we're going to be marking a straight line from that folded edge to the point where I placed a mark at 15 inches on my paper. So whatever your waist value is what you're going to be placing on your paper. So now after I've placed that mark on my paper, I'm going to now determine how wide I want my band to be. You can decide whatever length or width you want, but I think maximum should be 2 inches. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to make use of 1.5 inch. So from that point where I marked my straight line, I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch. And I'm going to just go ahead and mark that all across the paper to create a second parallel line on my paper. All right, so now after creating a second line on my paper, you can see that I have this mini rectangle that is all the way to half of my waistline. Next, at the corner there, I'm going to just go ahead and square out to close off that edge of the rectangle. So now that I've gotten this point, now the next thing I'm going to do is to get the midpoint of this rectangle, and all you need to do is to just divide 15 inches by 2 depending on what your value is. So 15 inches divided by 2, and that would be 7.5. So on my paper from the folded edge, remember the paper is on fold, okay? So on my paper from the folded edge, I'm going to be marking 7.5, or you can just use your tape and fold the value on your tape. Whatever you get there, you just place it on your rectangle and then you mark a point at that point. Okay, so now I have that point right there at the midpoint of my waist. So now at the edge of the waistband, I'm going to go up by half an inch. Okay, I'll go up by half an inch, and then beneath that I'm going to come down by half an inch. Okay, so I'll just go up by half an inch and come down by half an inch. So the essence of this now is just so that we can create a curve for this waistband. It's more like a contoured waistband. So I'm going to, like I said, mark half an inch upward and come down by half an inch as well. So after I've gotten that, now what I will do is to connect with my French curve, or you can use your pattern master. I'm going to connect that half an inch that I marked downward to meet the bottom line of my waistband. Okay, so I'll just use my pattern master to create a curve at that point at the bottom of the waistband, and also at the top as well. I'm going to do the same thing. I will use my pattern master to connect to the midpoint where we just marked. Okay, so like the way I'm just doing it, just pay attention to the video. So that is the reason, the essence of marking that point is to enable us be able to connect our curves properly. So now after I've gotten that, now I'm going to just go ahead and clean off those straight lines so that we have a defined line of what this waistband is about to look like. So right now at that corner, right, I'm going to mark an angle of 45 degrees just to ensure that that point is not sharp and it's also curvy at that end. So I'm just going to just mark 0.25 inch inward, just slightly angle 45 degrees, so that we have a curved end at the waistline there, at the waistband, sorry. So now I've just done that now, and that is all for this band. So what you need to do after this point is to just add your sewing allowance all around it, and you can cut out. So when you cut out, you are going to be cutting out two pieces for this, one for the main fabric and one to use as a facing for the band. So now guys, I am done. I have cut out my waistband. I have also added sewing allowances all around it. I added 1/2 inch sewing allowance all around, and this is what we have. Now I'm going to be testing this pattern on my fabric so that we can go ahead and join our waistband to our shirt. Now I've added all of my annotations also on this pattern. You're going to be cutting two pieces of this, and I've pinned it down on my fabric, and I have also cut out the pattern on the fabric. So now I'm going to just take out the pins now, and I'll show you what this waistband looks like on the fabric. All right, so now after taking out the paper, this is what we have. This is what my waistband looks like. So this is what it looks like, and to attach this to your fabric, I have ironed an interfacing on one part of the waistband so that it will just give it some stability. So I ironed an interfacing on one, and that will be the one facing the inner part of the pants, and the parts where I don't have the interfacing, the other part of the band where I don't have the interfacing will be the parts that is facing outward. So now after I have done this, now I'm going to go and join these two by 1/2 inch at the top. So I'm going to go join them by 1/2 inch at the top. I'm going to sew from top all the way down to the other edge, from one edge to the other, to join the two of them together, placing them right sides facing each other. And we'll just take it to the machine and sew right now. Okay, now so I'm done sewing it, and this is what it looks like. I have joined the two pieces together, the parts with the interfacing and the parts without the interfacing. So what I'll do now is to just trim off the allowance I have there. I don't want it to be too bulky, so I'm going to just go ahead and trim it off by 0.25 inch all across it. So that's what I'll do now. Now that I've joined the two pieces together, I'm going to use my pressing iron to press it down so that the two of them can marry each other and they remain flat and neatly put together. So I'll just use my pressing iron now to press it down so that they can stay together and stay flat. So it's important that you press your seams so everything relaxes nicely. Okay. Alright, so guys, now I'm just going to run up a hot iron on it, a hot steam iron on it, and after pressing, this is what we have. You can see how it's looking. The shape has come out beautiful. So now we are going to just attach this to our shirt. And to attach this to your shirt, you're going to be taking the part where you have the interfacing, the part where I iron the interfacing. I'm going to be placing it on the right side of my my shorts. Now you can decide to place it on the wrong side. That is if you want to do what they call a stitch in the ditch, but I'm not going to be doing that. That's why I'm placing that on the right side of the pants. But if you want it to be invisible, the stitches at the front of the pants to be invisible, you can place it on the wrong side. But I'm going to place mine, the part where I have the interfacing on my pants, I'm going to place it on my shorts on the right side. I'm going to use my pins to pin it all around it, and then after pinning it all around, I'm going to take it to the machine, and then we're going to run a stitch on it. So having attached the band to the short, this is what I have. I also took the liberty to cut off excesses that I do not need so that the inside will not get too bulky. So now we are going to have to fold in the other half of the band so that we can cover this waistband and it can come out nice. Now for us to do that, we will also be needing to cover the edge of the waistband, that is to sew the opening of the waistband. And for us to be able to sew the opening at the front of the waistband, you need to fold in words. I have folded my half an inch sewing allowance that I'm going to sew on the front part, so you need to just flip it over to meet the other side, and then we're going to run a stitch across it so that we can cover the edge of the band. So you can see the way I flipped my pants, and I'll just flip it to the other side and ensure that the two of them meet each other. And note that I have already ironed half an inch inward already, so I'm going to flip it backward to align with the other part of the band. And after flipping it, we are going to just sew from the top to the bottom. So we're going to be closing the edge of this waistband from top to bottom. I'll do this for this part, that's one part of the band, the open edge part of the band, and we'll also do the same thing for the other side of the band. So we're just going to run a stitch and close off the edges of the band. Now guys, after I have run a stitch on it, this is what it looks like. You can see because I folded in half an inch, I ironed in half an inch, it is already looking relaxed and pressed. So to keep the band from moving around while you stitch, I would advise that you use your pins to hold them down on a round. That is what I did. Sorry, I might not have shown you that part, but you can see as I'm stitching, I am taking off my pins. So I use the pins to secure the waistband on the pants so that it doesn't move around, and it allows me sew the way I want it to come out. So this is it guys, and this is just one of the methods on how to attach a waistband to a pant. There are other several methods. I just feel like to show you guys this part. And there's also the stitch in the ditch method, which is the reverse of this. If you want to do that, it's also good. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for your support. I appreciate you. Until I see you guys in my next video, stay blessed and remain positive wherever you are. Bye.